This is Chris from Action for Elders. So today I want to talk a little bit about nutrition and food. A lot of the time when we eat, I think fundamentally we can be a little bit misguided in terms of what we eat, when we eat it, and what to eat in what kind of order. So I think there's a degree of misinterpretation about the types of foods that we eat at certain times of day, whether to mix those food groups, and if we do, in what order we're eating them, not mixing carbs and that kind of thing, which I think a lot of the time we do. And I think the basic sort of message that I want to try and get across in a couple of videos is the saying that we are what we eat is a very true saying. Our body essentially acts like a machine. It's like an engine, it's like a car. So it will only function in accordance with the kind of quality oil we put in it. And of course, our oil is nutrition. It's food, it's water intake, it's hydration, it's the proper vitamins, the proper good fats, etc., etc. So that's what I want to talk about a little bit, and a lot of it actually, when you think about it, is just really common sense. You talk about the old sayings in terms of having breakfast like a king and supper like a pauper, and these kind of things. And yet we live in a world where the frequency of activity is very busy for us all, irrespective of age. Whether you're retired and you're in your twilight years, or whether you're living a working busy life with a family or whatever, a lot of us fall into that same trap of getting up, not having a terribly great breakfast, snacking at lunchtime, maybe having an apple and a sandwich or something like that. And then of course, traditionally in this part of the world, we all settle down of an evening and have a full-on, slap-up dinner, which isn't necessarily the best way to go. So if I can explain, your body, when you first get up in the morning, is empty. Okay, so like a car battery, we need charging. Okay, we need nutrition. So we kind of, in this part of the world, not all of us, but some of us generally, I think, don't feed ourselves overly well in the morning. So when our body gets up, our energy levels are acting up here. Okay, so we need to put nutrition into ourselves to make sure that we're able to function properly, mentally and physically, throughout the course of the day. That our battery, if you like, has been charged, so that we can function, so that we have the proper energy levels, so that we don't start to get low blood sugar levels, and we don't start to slump and get lethargic. So your body, if anything, needs the energy, needs the nutritional intake that we would usually give it in the evening, in the morning. Now, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination suggesting that you have a steak dinner for breakfast with potatoes and peas and everything else. That would be rather weird. However, there are lots and lots of different ideas and ingredients that you can throw into your breakfast at the first portion of the day to make it a good thing for you to be doing. Some people sort of would say, well, I can't eat breakfast first thing, and that's absolutely fine. What some people do is they will get up and they'll have a cup of tea or two and wait for an hour and a half or something like that until they start to feel themselves coming around and starting to feel hungry, and that's perfectly fine. So there's by no means are you expected to, okay, the moment that you get out of bed, you've got to have something to eat. No, of course not. Get up, have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or whatever you do. I think personally, one of the best things that you can do when you first get out of bed is have a glass of water, because that kickstarts your body. You're feeding it hydration, okay? And water can play a huge part in terms of whether we're holding water, whether we get water retention, and all of those kind of things as well. I'll go into more depth about this kind of stuff the further we go along, but today really is an introductory clip really into trying to get a handle on how we can eat better, how we can have better water intake, how we can taper our food throughout the day so that you're starting with a good sized meal at the beginning portion of the day so that you're feeding your body's battery, if you like, and then by the end of the day you slowly taper your meals down so that you're having a lighter meal in the evening, and so your body's just nicely ticking over then, instead of tapering the other way and starting off hardly eating anything, and then by the time you get to the evening you're absolutely starving because you haven't fed yourself anything throughout the course of the day. So it's just switching the mentality a little bit and starting to think and talk about only eating until you're about 80 to 85% full, and that kind of thing, which I'll go into in more depth in other videos. So we'll draw the video to a close there for today. Please remember to check out our website and YouTube links in terms of if you want to leave comments, feel free. We're always open to your suggestions. And I'll see you soon with the next clip in which we'll go into a little bit more depth. Thank you very much. Have a good day.